me check this out.
He's got a tuft.
Right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am back 99. This is the Gamers of Scotland. Now, on my left-hand side of the screen is James. Can you introduce yourself, please, James?
Yes, my name is James, also known as Beanois. I have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/Beanois. Go and check that out. We'll put a link at the bottom in case you don't know how to spell Beanois, but yeah.
It could be an artard. And on the right-hand side, we have Harrison.
Hello there, folks. I am Harrison. I don't actually have a channel at the moment in time. I've had about 3 or 4 over the past few years, but the new one will be put up very, very soon. As I say, links in the bottom.
We will put every single link in the bottom of the description, so please check that below. So, basically, we are the Gamers of Scotland. This came into, just something that happened roughly about December that I decided, we need something to represent the Gamers of Scotland. So, my good friend James on the left-hand side here ended up saying, it'd be a good idea to be able to do something like that, but we need a third person. So, I tell you what...
found me.
Yeah, tell us, James, how did you find Harrison? This is quite an interesting story from my perspective, anyway.
Basically, I was in one of the independent game shops in Glasgow, and I was looking through the random retro junk that they have in the back, and I just overheard a gentleman returning an Xbox 360 Power Pack that a
gentleman
from them. A gentleman, yes, and he mentioned that he was doing a charity live stream, so I just asked him about that and then gave him my business card. Very professional.
One thing led to another.
It's right here, actually. I've still got it sitting
still got it
on my monitor, yeah.
Jesus.
So one thing led to another, and we're getting married in July. Cheers.
Woo!
One sounds more enthusiastic about that than the other.
I'm kidding, obviously.
I'm so enthusiastic. It's the first time I've heard about it.
Wasn't even an engagement or anything.
I know.
Straight into marriage. So, when's the baby due?
Oh, we've not thought that far.
No.
Right, okay. No problem at all. So, let's get more of an understanding of each other, what we're going to be doing with the Gamers of Scotland. So we're going to be trying to do collaborations, so all three of us will try and get the same games, and we're going to try and enjoy ourselves with them. We are good honest gamers. We're not here to... What?
Nothing.
We're not here to take the piss out of other gamers or anything like that. We're here to entertain you guys. So, first of all, let's go through what we're going to be doing project-wise within our own channels, and if there's any live streaming or anything like that that's involved, then let's go ahead and announce them just now. So, James, can you start off, please?
Yeah, well, I've got a bunch of stuff in the works just now. Actually, this is a pretty good time for me because I'm really without a video to be either editing or working on at the moment. I mostly try and focus on retro stuff, like old kind of retro consoles, even old retro PC games. I do play some current stuff, but I'm not the most up-to-date guy. But yeah, that's basically how I work. Up until recently, I haven't been doing that much that kind of working, just on the basis of whatever I can do in my spare time. But just now, I do record whenever I can and try and make some entertainment out of whatever I'm playing, basically.
But your Christmas special this year was quite special.
It was, yeah. It was my first ever Christmas special, and it was based on a Christmas-themed SNES game. It was actually, in all honesty, it wasn't a bad game, but it wasn't a good game either.
Check out the video as well, that'll be down in the description.
Yep.
So, what is it you're going to be doing or have been working on recently then?
Well, as I say, I've got a few videos in the works just now. Mainly, I've got an idea just now of games that I've recently picked up. So I'll just show you 4 PlayStation games I picked up for £11. The first of them being, this was on the one buy as well, but Gran Turismo, right? But that's just
Nice.
because it's part of the pack. GTA 2 on PlayStation.
Brilliant.
But I also picked up these because they were in the pack as well.
So you've actually got the collection of Driver and Driver 2.
Driver and Driver 2. So what I'm planning to do is, at some point soon, I'm going to be doing a Driver retrospective.
Well, we played 3 a lot, so like it would be good to go back and visit them. Aye. Be able to visit back in them.
Yeah, so I'm going to do, I don't know whether to do like a couple of videos and do a couple of games per video, or do one game per video, but I want to cover all the Driver games up to the recent one as well, Driver San Francisco on the 360.
Sweet, nice one.
Sounds good.
Oh, what about yourself, Harrison? Is there anything in the pipeline for you?
Well, being predominantly a PC gamer, because that's pretty much the only console I have right now. Well, if you can call PC a console, but
console,
you know what I mean. Yeah,
yep.
Yeah, right, okay. So, well, mainly I'm an FPS player, but I've been trying to branch out into a lot of other interesting wee games and things I find along the way, usually from other people who've reviewed them and recommended them to me. So I've got a couple of games at the moment in time where my camera has frozen, but oh well.
We'll sort that out.
Yeah. I've got a couple of games which I'm going to be reviewing today, 3 of them. I'll have them as part of my repertoire. But I'm also going to be seeing if I can try and do a long sort of series on a game called Miasmata as well. So that should be pretty good. It's mixing exploration with botany with a monster who wants to kill you and runs around after you in the head, which is good fun.
Quite looking forward to that. And you're back.
Yeah, jeez, that thing's scary. And well, I'm hoping to do a bit of Twitch here and there, a bit of YouTube here and there. I'm not quite sure whether or not to stick with one or the other, but
like sticking with a format sort of idea. You're just going as is, whatever you enjoy.
I'm pretty much just go as is. Join in with a few things with you guys, of course, and we'll certainly see how it goes.
Well, through that with Miasmata, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing what you can show me in that, because I literally, as you were playing it, and we got introduced to each other, I was playing Rust, and I was like, is it similar to Rust? Looked at the actual video capture, it looked absolutely fucking beautiful.
That's fantastic.
And then this monster appears, and the game changes completely.
Everything I know about Miasmata, I know through Harrison. And I probably would have discovered it later on, obviously, but just that night...
I wouldn't have discovered it at all.
Yeah, absolutely. It was that night you were one of the first nights I was had on a Steam chat with you, Harrison, and you were playing it. And you were just listening to you like crapping yourself at the game. Basically, was hilarious.
Running away from this monster, falling down cliffs, picking up sticks and throwing at it. Yeah, that sounds.
But I think you mentioned that you hit someone with a frying pan as well.
Yes, yeah, I did. Yeah.
That is already better
I
video.
picked up a frying pan, got to a camp, and hit the monster with the frying pan that ran off. Yeah. Just ran up to like clang.
That already makes better video content than Slender or Amnesia put there already.
There you go.
So completely from that. May as well myself. I have several things. I've actually got a list right here in front of me of what I'm trying to be doing. Right.
Sit back and make yourself comfortable, folks.
What? What about the call? Thank you. That'll be a nice bit of splicing. Right. So yeah, I've wanted to do a couple of bit of some live streaming as well as doing some recording. But as you know, we all do our own thing, so I'm trying to find struggling for time. That's basically why we all do this in our free time. So my first thing I want to be doing live streams of is Receiver. And then I'm thinking about Abe's Exodus, basically because of Abe's Odyssey. I've been playing through that a lot recently, and I constantly die. It's not good footage to watch. But in Exodus, there's a lot more mechanics involved, so I feel like I might be able to push being able to get good gameplay of that. As for the recording content, I'm going to be issuing Dota 2 highlights. There'll be also some CSGO highlights. We need to try and get you in on that, Harrison. It's boys down in Plymouth that I know that'll be a part of that, but we definitely need to get you and your crew in there, Harrison, as well. Doom 3 BFG, I want to do a playthrough of that, basically because it is one of the scariest games I probably could have played with realistic graphics compared to the original Dooms. Things really do. I didn't anticipate the fact that they actually have like a gateway to hell in it. I thought they were just going to introduce it as like the whole Doom movie style, but no, there's actually a gateway to hell with flying skulls that will take over and possess people and turn them into zombies and stuff. I didn't know about all that, so I'm looking forward to doing that and recording that.
Yep, Doom 3 is one of the few games that make me scream like a little girl.
Well, it hasn't made me scream yet.
I'm quite interested to see how anyone gets on with Doom 3, because of me being a retro gamer, even with PC games, Doom classics, I'll always prefer them to the new one. Even though the new one is a scary game, it's I've always felt it's not lived up to the old ones, but it can literally scare the shit out of you.
Well, with BFG, I've actually got Doom 1 and 2 on that. On that package, and I played like the first level of Doom 1, and then I played the first level of Doom 2, and then I went on to Doom 3, and holy shit, it mind blows you to what they've actually managed to do. Now, obviously, it's all based on it's actually keeping to a storyline this time. Though, that's the thing. So
definitely, yeah.
I think that was probably the most interesting thing. It was Bethesda that done that, didn't they? Not?
I think
I'm
so.
not too sure. Bethesda and ID.
The only thing I can remember is it uses the Unreal Engine.
Yeah. It was actually the best of the Unreal 2, was it, or Unreal 3? I can't really remember.
Not sure.
But it was pretty much like the baseline standard for the new graphics cards and all that, as well as a benchmark.
Yeah, it had really, really good benchmarking pieces in it, definitely.
Yeah. Next after that, I need to try and get through Fear. Fear is just a fucking beautiful game. The music, the
fantastic.
atmosphere, the characters, even the characters. You're not in like an actual... You don't feel for your character, you feel for everybody else around you. That's the best thing about that. And then lastly, I've got Rust, Nether, and GTA. So I've got a lot of shit going on right now. And this is all stored on my computer.
Yep.
So
I'm pretty much the same, man. I've got like backlogs of recordings and shit to work through. Yeah. Too much to go into, but like things like my Halo 2 multiplayer, Mashed on PS2. I've been playing some Steam stuff as well.
Oh, the Steam stuff actually looks interesting. I have seen that, so look out for that coming up. What about yourself, Harrison? Have you actually had anything that's kept in recording, or anything that you have wanted to do that you want to talk about? Or is it just all based on new experiences that you want to try and focus on?
I do have, as I said, a good few games that I'm wanting to certainly get down and get recorded and things. I did have on my old Twitch channel a good while ago, as I was saying to you guys, I had a lot of footage, like a lot of footage,
And then recently,
and it got deleted because I wasn't aware of the certain checkboxes on Twitch, and it passed a certain date, and the whole thing went.
Yeah.
Which is a massive problem. So the only thing I actually have on my computer right now is I think I've got a couple of files from when I played Lego Lord of the Rings with a mate of mine. And I've got the Aliens Killing Floor mod, which is pretty damn cool.
Does look amazing.
It's brilliant. It's a real shame that it doesn't quite work at the moment.
Yeah.
Due to recent updates with Killing Floor mean that the menu system and buying weapons doesn't quite work.
I want to see that work, man. It looks amazing, the stuff that you've showed me anyway.
Oh, it's really...
The amount of detail they've put in it, I mean, it's got more. It looks more like an Alien game than the official Alien games that are getting released right now on like
yeah, that's true.
Shit.
Well, the facehuggers actually affect you for a start as well.
Yeah, they do. Once the facehuggers get you, it's a case of you have a certain amount of time till it bursts out of your chest. It goes after the other players, which is quite good.
I don't think any other ones have done that apart from the cinematic sort of scenes within Alien games.
I know why hasn't an Alien game done that before?
It's part of the gameplay. Like that's the way it should be.
Yeah, it's pretty much the case of if one guy on your team gets got by a facehugger and you don't get it off him in time, it literally just comes up with your screen. There's one inside you. It's a case of oh shit, let's finish this level quickly. I mean, the whole game's fantastic. It's got all new weapons in it as well. It's got the models for the weapons. It's even your characters as well are the characters from the films.
Yep.
Even in your chats, like you can bring up like a chat menu for orders and things, and that actually has voices and whatever from the films and from a couple of the games as well.
So they've actually put in a proper mod community into this. It's not just an add-on.
Yeah, and even then, like all of the zombies and whatever have been replaced by aliens. and even the boss at the end is the giant mother alien as well.
Jesus.
I mean, they've put that much work into it. It's a real shame it doesn't work quite right at the moment in time. It's a massive shame.
Easily sort it through time because they'll realise that people do want to play this sort of stuff.
Oh god, yeah.
I think it's like what is it I've got on my desk? Going to quickly check this. It's OpenRA, which Total Biscuit just done a video on, and it basically turns everything into an open source piece of software for Command and Conquer, June 2000, and Red Alert.
Nice.
And you can it just adds new server based elements so people can join a lot easier to each other, to different servers, play multiplayer matches on the original UI, but also updates the sort of the click and drag techniques that you've got in StarCraft and added it into Command and Conquer, so it's a much smoother, more efficient game, if you get me, as well.
Yeah.
And they brought that part of it, so wee tiny bits of modding parts like that are just amazing for games.
Command and Conquer. Oh god, that'd be amazing.
Yeah. Well, the focus is very much on Red Alert, definitely. In June 2000, I've actually played the June 2000, and I absolutely loved June 2000 back in the day. I played it in PS1, never got the chance to play it on the computer, but now that I've got the chance, it plays 10 times better than what it should have done in the first place. So these guys are actually trying to work out exactly the best way to create an open source platform for Westwood Games. They're trying to reboot Westwood Games alone. That will be. Let's hope they finish it this year. So we are going to move on to the top 3 section of the podcast. Top 3 section is basically what is the top 3 games you've been playing recently. Reasons sort of why like they are your favourite, specifically within a certain sector of the game. Not the fact that, oh my god, this is an amazing game, the graphics look amazing. It's all down to the logical part of the game. So give us your top 3 games for this week then, James.
Okay. Well, not of all time, obviously, but apart from the usual kind of retro stuff that I play, that just depends on, you know, whoever's up at my house at the current moment in time. But I've been playing through the ones that I showed you earlier, Driver and Driver 2 and GTA 2, etc. But but I've been playing a shitload of this recently.
Oh, you have been non-stop playing that though.
Because it's just so much fun. Like, it's been so long since I've actually liked playing a wrestling game, but like when my friend comes up, or if I've got 2 friends or 4 friends, we have 4-player Royal Rumbles or 4-player TLC matches, and it's just, I don't care what anybody thinks about what I play or opinions about who play that game or who play that game. I just play games to have fun. End of story, and you have fun, a shitload of fun with that.
Fancy pants.
The one that and whilst I'm on the topic of not caring what people think, I play a shitload of this as well, just because that's the kind of guy I am, and I'm a football fan.
See the amount of game fails I've seen recently. And it's came from FIFA. Exactly. But I mean, I don't care. It's still a fun game. Apart from that, I've been playing through. Apart from the videos that you can see on my YouTube channel, I've been playing through Bit Trip Runner, which is starting to get really addictive just now. And Papo Yo, also on Steam, that I got as part of a Humble Bundle, which is a really weird mind-bending game. Yep. You can like move, you see like weird shapes on the wall, and you pull the wall out and it becomes like steps, or you move a box here and a house starts moving up in the mountains in the background and shit. You said the world actually seems like it's living, it is alive, it's not just something that you're modifying to your will, bend to your will.
The detail in it is crazy. Like, even just randomly walking through, and there's this random level with green frogs jumping about, and you can pick them up, and I don't know why. It's not part of it. It's just like a little side diversion. Like, before you move on to the next part, it's just a bunch of green frogs jumping about, and you can pick them up and throw them, and it's like, why is it there? But they put it there for a reason, obviously, and I think it's just because just to give you a little time to chill out before you move on to the next mindfuck moment, basically.
The game looks like a mindfuck, so.
Aye.
That sounds amazing. I haven't actually heard of that before. It's gonna be. I've got to play that.
Stay tuned to my channel.
I will do. Yeah, I should do.
You should do. Should be all helping each other here. So
I'm
through
slowly
like
working my way through the back catalogue, slowly.
James's isn't actually as bad as mine. There's some drivel at the start of the channel. Changed things a lot format wise anyway towards the end of last year. So with that, that makes a good valid point on indie games and how indie games have managed to move forward as well. So you're saying that your top 3 games that you've been playing, at least this week, one of them is part of an indie.
Yeah.
Which is good. It's not going to be this AAA. So 2 of them are really AAA, like fucking WWE, 2K14 and FIFA. But no, it's good to see that you've got that sort of outside experience. You're looking
variation and shit as well.
Variation. You're looking to kind of branch out and look for new things within gaming.
Yeah. I spend as much time on indie market on Steam or even on PC, even on Xbox Live Arcade indie market as well.
Yep.
And some of the indie stuff is just much more imaginative, and they're not locked down to the same shit each and every year, which is probably what people will be saying to me in the comments about FIFA, but I don't give a fuck.
That's FIFA for you.
How nice, James.
What about yourself then, Harrison? What's your top 3 for this year? This week, sorry.
This year? Oh, jeez.
Going into far too much detail
here. Okay, so my 3 games this week are Banner Saga, which is quite a new game. Came out through the Kickstarter, I believe, and went straight onto Steam. Has become quite a bit of quite a success, really. The next game is a bit of an older game, and I'm going to do this one actually next, just because I love it so much. But it's a wee game called Perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the idea of Perspective is it takes your 2D platformer and gives it perspective. Yeah.
Yep.
Where you'll have a 2D screen, and then you'll click out of it, and then you realize that you're a person inside a room. And this guy is on the wall, so you can then move yourself to go round corners and through a corridor with this guy as a normal platformer.
Aye.
It's such a brilliant game, and just it's a mind bender at times. There's been times where I've done something and gone, wow, how the heck did I just do that?
It is crazy how you can move from one section and you can pass through 3 different hallways, and then you walk in, your guy's sitting there in the 3rd hallway, and it's like, how the hell did they manage to get through a chicane of hallways?
Yeah.
See, looking at that, it looks like that's what should have happened when 2D went into 3D instead of having 3D platforms.
That's exactly the way.
Yeah. I mean, it's taken very much. So I'm not sure as to what the timeline goes on this, but it's for people wondering, it's very similar to games like Fez, for example.
Yeah.
Except where Fez is locked into 4 perspectives.
Yeah.
This game is literally just a click out and wander around the room sort of thing. It's a
first person
/2D.
First person shooter meets side scroller.
Yeah, it's utterly amazing. It really is very, very good.
I know how the little character in the game moves exactly like Mega Man as well. So
yeah, I mean, even in the game, the simply just moving around and say if you've got a corner and you've got red on one part, which means that you can't actually go through that. You simply move the corner in the way and then jump through it.
Yep.
It doesn't simply just mean that. You can also move closer to the wall, which means that a small gap now becomes a larger gap, which means that you can walk through it. And vice versa, you can walk away. Your guy becomes bigger, and you can jump on top of a ledge that was previously inaccessible as well. Which is just like, whoa.
It challenges your mind, which
that you haven't realised how it works yet. There's probably things that because you're not used to that type of format, there's probably stuff that you can do in that game that you've not even found out yet.
Yeah, more than that. I need to go back and play it a bit more, actually. I need to get my 2nd and 3rd playthroughs on it, just to get an idea. I mean, even in the game, they've even added a concept of gravity as well.
Yeah, I've seen that, actually.
Where you run and jump, but then you click out, go into your first-person view, and then
And your
you
guy
move,
stays there.
and he moves there, but he keeps his momentum. So in some parts, you can then avoid certain obstacles by putting pillars in the way in the room, which means that he then flies through, stop it again, move it, flies through, stop it again, and you can go past certain barriers that were there. It's just like
It
I
does.
do really
completely
want to pick that
blow
up
me
some
away.
point.
it's fantastic. It's a brilliant game. It's completely free.
Yep, that's the
It's
best thing
actually
about it.
developed at DigiPen, which, as far as I'm aware, is a university-style game developing and teaching
DigiPen come out
club,
with
really. Yeah.
some amazing, like, indie. It's not even community based. It is pure indie games. I actually downloaded 5 separate games. They done the Humble Bundle, but they done them completely for free. And they do this pretty much every month. They've at least got one game that they want you to try out, and not everything's going to be completely fully published. They maybe only allow it to be open for that month or whatever. But Perspective is one of those games that have kept with looking outside the box of gaming and what they could do with it. So, like you said, they're a group within a university, and they collaborate with other university likes that are open-minded to gaming and want to try and look at new things within the indie market, which is incredible.
Yeah, I'd certainly even recommend just hopping onto their website here, which is games.digipen.edu, and simply just hopping on there and have a look at some of the other games that are there as well, like Pixie, Gear, and Dig and Rig.
Dig and Rig is amazing.
They're really, really good games. Some of them are quite small games, sort of a bit poetic, you know. But other of them are just really, really just such a fantastic place. I lost about 2 days just playing DigiPen games.
So what's your third game then, Harrison?
Okay, well, my second game actually.
Oh, technically your
I'm taking
second.
the time here. Oh, jeez. Actually, wait a minute. Did I go through?
You went through Banner Saga Perspective.
I did. All right. Okay. Fair enough. Right.
Cheat.
Hacks.
I was like, look, I can't remember actually doing that. Right, okay. My other game here is Jazzpunk.
Yep, which has just came on the scene.
It's literally just hopped onto the scene on Steam. My mate Pete just saw the trailer for it and was like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" I hopped on. I literally just found it yesterday.
Yep.
And I hopped on. I was just like, "Oh my god, this is amazing!" So I bought it and downloaded it in about 20 minutes and went straight on and played it. And wow, honest to God, it is such a.
You don't want to give that away, do you?
I know it's really difficult not to give things away on this because it's a game that's loaded with so much individual sort of content, little funny bits here and there. Like it's taken homage from other games like Frogger and first-person shooter games like Quake,
and just basically your whole retrostalgia sort of thing. Speaking from James's point of view and his retrostalgia topics, it gives you that sort of retro theme, but it gives you a nostalgic feeling about it. So,
yeah, definitely. Well, the basic backstory of it is you're a spy who I don't even know what's going on with your boss in this game.
You're just like, a spy.
What? Yeah, you're a spy. You do stuff like you get into the Soviet consulate and you steal like a wee game cartridge thing. Another one of the missions, you've got to take a guy's kidney and stuff like that.
Surgeon Simulator.
Well, literally, the way that you take the guy's kidney involves swatting flies. Collecting a jar of spiders, sushi restaurants, swatting people with fly swatters.
You scare him away with insects into the sushi bar, and then you can chop him up and take his kidney. That's basically the premise of that.
Oh god, yeah, and the way that you take his kidney. Oh god, oh. Simply just play the game.
Videos on that then?
Yeah, definitely. Try and watch me play it, or watch somebody else play it, or just simply buy the game. Yeah. Buy the game, play it. It's the best way to go through it. It's one of those games where you click on everything.
And it gives you so much
click
interaction.
On everything. Oh god, yeah, definitely. It's just wow. It's ridiculous. As far as the kind of the artwork that goes through with the game is that everybody is a kind of a cardboard cutout style person.
Yeah.
So everyone basically just floats around. And you've got robots in the game, people, you've got dudes who like appear around corners and stare at you and then just like disappear. Like they do it on trees about that thin. You just have a guy going whoop, stares at you and he goes whoop and disappears behind the tree again. It's wow.
So it kind of makes you feel awkward while playing it then.
Yeah. There's a lot of things where you'll just stop and go, wait a minute, did that just? Okay, fair enough.
Cool.
But yeah, it's such a fantastic game. I've really found some amazing things over the past couple of weeks. I really have.
I've seen that, man.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, I'll stop hogging the limelight and I'll pass over to John here. And
what have you been
playing, John?
Well, first of all, I'm going to hide the sticker from CEX. I got this for 18 quid. Actually, the CEX sticker's still on it as well. We're playing Splinter Cell Blacklist. My good friend Ali, he just lives up the road. He is a massive Splinter Cell fan. He's been playing Splinter Cell back since the very first one, and he's a boss. He's an absolute boss at it. So Blacklist came on the scene. That was sort of kind of mid to late last year, and I just didn't have much notion for it. And then I seen it from his perspective and how. See, when you start the game now, you don't start into a loading screen and you don't pick your missions from a loading screen. You're on your ship. It's actually a plane that's acted as a base, and you can interact with everything within that plane to start. Whether you want to start a mission, do your equipment, talk to people, do multiplayer. You walk about this plane and actually do all these upgrades and everything else to the ship. It's just absolutely amazing. That's where it starts. Secondly, is the graphics, the actual HD texture pack that they allow you to install, a bit like GTA and games that are happening these days for console. They tell you to install HD texture packs. I've actually compared it to the PC, and the PC's not that far off. The anti-aliasing is the only trouble that the console has. It still looks absolutely beautiful, and even though you're revisiting to countries that you've been in the Splinter Cell series, they actually look brand new and completely different.
They've been done properly.
Yeah, and you really do need to think your way along the path of being Sam Fisher. You can't just... There is certain sections that you can run and gun. The game does allow you to run and gun. Like your upgrades, you can either upgrade in armour or you can upgrade in stealth suits, which gives you a really good kind of feel on whether you do want to just take out that terrorist and get the hostage, or do you want to sneak in, take everybody out quietly, and then come away with the hostage. And it does affect the game as you're playing it. That is something that I've been kind of priding myself as, finding a really good stealth game. And all the enemies within Splinter Cell Blacklist, I play it normal and they're all twitchy as hell. You can literally fart and a guard will turn around and say, "What was that?" So, but what you can do is you can call them as well. If you're hanging on the edge of a ledge, you can whistle or call them saying, "Come here," and they'll come over to where they've been attracted to. And as long as nobody else is around there, you can take them down silently and throw them off the edge of the building, or slam choke them. Or you've also got a knife now as well, so you can actually just full out slit their throat and be sort of just brutal over the whole scenario. It's got quite a good theme to it, but I have played some terrorist hunt sort of co-op missions, and they're what's really intriguing within the Splinter Cell series now. It's not really about the story, because you've been through so much with Sam Fisher now. I think they've kind of realised we just want to keep the aesthetic of the stealth in there, so the co-op stories really just go all about you've got 15 terrorists, go out and kill them. You do need to take down the terrorists in co-op missions, so that's why I bought it specifically, because we can sit and play co-op with my pal Ali, and we can get fired into Splinter Cell from that
I know
perspective.
exactly
of
what you
stealth.
mean though, when you were saying that you're not you didn't have the notion for it at first, because the recent ones before Blacklist have been kind of lackluster. Even though I've had them, I've not kept it's not kept my interest in it, for very long.
Yeah.
But Blacklist does look really good. I have played it when my relatives come up and let me have a shot of it. With the Kinect as well, I have called on people with Kinect to get them to come over, and then you just chib them.
It's actually easier just to press the back button.
I know. But
So.
I'm testing the features.
I guess the features do work. A bit like what was it, Ghost Recon?
Yeah.
Because it's made by the same people as well. They've done really well for the commands in Ghost Recon for the Kinect.
Yeah, I heard that's really good actually. I had quite a few reservations about adding Kinect into certain games.
Yeah.
The main thing I thought was, you're playing a console game, you have a pad that you're holding onto here. How are you supposed to call people and take your hand off the pad? It just didn't seem to me to work quite right.
But that's Smart Glass as well. Smart Glass has that mentality.
Yeah.
And what's the point in it?
I only use Smart Glass to search on YouTube on the Xbox, because the fucking built-in keyboard and that is atrocious.
Yeah,
So-
that's one thing from people who have played a lot of, say, original Xbox, where going through the menus and stuff, you can actually type extremely quickly.
Yeah.
You get used to it, especially if you've got the keyboard for the controller, but Smart Glass, I've never seen anything that's actually so practical for YouTube and doing Google searches. It was basically, I think Smart Glass was made for that premise.
Yeah.
So you can get about your Xbox without having a controller and without having to use the bumpers and pressing A and all that. You can literally type in what you want and it just syncs it to the console itself. They should have actually had something like that separately to begin with. They should have always thought about something like that, but they've taken their time with it. As always, Microsoft. These
My
things
battery's
happen.
just cut out in my camera, John, just so you know.
Fantastic. You'll be flickering for at least the next 20 minutes then.
Cool.
If you can try and charge it. We might be able to finish off with the camera. So, what else have I been playing? I've been playing Dota 2. And I'm not one for MOBA. I played Heroes of New Earth back in the day. It's very much like Heroes of New Earth in my eyes, even though Dota was invented before HON. But these things happen. It depends on whatever way that you've seen a MOBA in the first, like your first instance of a MOBA is literally an experience. It sort of started with the whole Dawn of War style MOBA. It's a switch between Command and Conquer, StarCraft and Dota. I feel like Dawn of War kind of brings to the table, especially with Dawn of War 2. Dawn of War 2 brought just character-based abilities which go into modern day MOBAs as well. But I've never actually played a proper competitive game of a MOBA. And Dota 2 has taught me how to do that. Three best characters are Earthshaker, Lycan and the Sniper. If I get pissed off with people, they'll pick the Lycan or they'll pick the Earthshaker, then I'll go straight to Sniper just to destroy them, especially if the other team have chosen them. So we'll swiftly go over Dota 2 anyway. There will be some footage coming out for that, like I said. So, and then GTA 5. So I haven't been on the Xbox for a very, very long time because of Splinter Cell and because of Dota. But GTA 5, holy shit. I have never seen such a more beautiful game in my entire life. They've done that so well, the way the storyline within the story, the interaction with the characters, you actually get a relation for the characters like you do, and it's the fact that there's 3 story mode characters. I mean, have you ever heard of a game that's brought 3 story mode characters that are completely playable at any point in the game?
Not in a sandbox game anyway, no.
Yeah, not in a
That I've heard of.
sandbox.
No, definitely not.
The Getaway tried something like that, but you couldn't play them all
Yeah, independently you could
simultaneously.
switch,
Yeah. They literally had their own view on the world.
And I just point out that, seeing as we are the Gamers of Scotland, we're talking about a game that's from our homeland.
Yes.
Exactly, yeah.
From the
But
pride
people
of
that don't
Rockstar.
know, because there is a lot of people just now that Brian Baglow commented that how someone thought his picture of the Rockstar Studios saying proudly made in Scotland was photoshopped.
Yeah.
That's atrocious. It comes from Scotland. Get it into your thick skulls, people.
There is actually some good
heard the
stuff that comes
vibration.
out of Scotland, other than whiskey and that kind of thing.
Aye. That's all we do is we sit and drink whiskey and play GTA 5 and eat haggis and
And dig for oil.
Is that right? Yeah.
dig for oil. Vote on independence.
Vote on independence. Yeah. We won't go into that at all.
No, let's not go into that.
Especially with James Cameron yesterday. Jesus Christ.
Moving swiftly on.
Yeah, so for GTA, we play the multiplayer together, James and myself. Once it comes to PC, Harrison, I'm sure you'll be coming on there.
Definitely, yeah.
Are you a fan of GTA?
I don't know, to be completely honest. Back in the day when I did have the PlayStation, I did play GTA and GTA 2. And GTA 3 actually, I think when it was there. And to be completely fair, I sucked. Honest to God. Hold X to walk forward. I spent most of my time walking into cars and walls.
Whoa. You've already got it wrong. You don't hold alright for 1 and 2.
Yeah.
But for running, they changed that in GTA 3. Where you tapped it.
The first fully 3D one.
Alright, fair enough.
Well,
sorry.
to be completely honest, I didn't really experience as much of it as I really should have. I was quite small and at the time.
So did you not pick up hookers?
Did
you not pick up hookers, become your own professional pimp?
No, I had no idea you could do that.
You pick up hookers, take them down to the docks, you have some hanky-panky, and then you get a baseball bat and take it to their face, and take the money back.
I'm looking forward to seeing what other GTA stuff that comes out with the videos that you're doing on your channel, John.
What's that, sorry?
I'm looking forward to seeing the other GTA content that you've got in the pipeline.
I've got multiplayer mingle, but there's some other stuff that I want to do, like montages, but the multiplayer mingle is a lot. Actually, it's more work than what it seems, because there's about 5 other people that are interacted within the party and in the voice chat, and I've got to make sure certain things haven't been said that shouldn't be aired on YouTube, sort of idea.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I suppose that's always the problem with having a large group of people. I've wanted to stream some of my League of Legends playing, because I just got into the MOBAs circuit back in October, and I've wanted to do a lot of that, but the chat usually tends to go off topic
sort of
in the
racial?
wrong direction, let's just say.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think that's just what MOBA does to people. It's really weird what MOBA does to people. It turns everybody into haters who hate the other person, and it can get pretty personal, actually. But it always makes for some interesting content now and again.
So it's the Call of Duty of the PC world.
Yeah.
And it is a lot more fun, enjoyable, and aggressive than Call of Duty, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
So,
shall we move on then?
Yes, we shall move on to the next section. So, this part of the podcast, we'll be doing this every time that we do a podcast. We'll be highlighting a game that came out of Scotland recently. It's something that I feel like we really do need to push, because the gaming community, and especially the industry within Scotland, is alive, and people aren't aware of that.
Very much so.
So we went to a sort of conference meeting thing. You had mentioned Brian Baglow earlier on.
Yeah.
It's through the Scottish Games Network.
Yep.
And they are basically the hub for the sort of gaming industry within Scotland, how you can get in touch with people to find out about jobs or opportunities or what sort of new games are coming out of Scotland. And
even just information about the Scottish game industry in general, because there's not a lot of it.
Tells you what the partnerships are and all that sort of stuff, which is really good. I've chosen, and this came out just before the end of the new year, APB Retribution. APB was originally made by Real Time Worlds, the people who made Crackdown, and they wanted to create a sort of enforcers versus jokers sort of world where criminals and the law fight, and basically control certain districts within a city. Again, it brought that sort of crackdown feel to it, where gangs were taking over certain areas, but you were against one. It was only 1 versus 1 sort of faction. It wasn't like you're against 3 other
robbers, basically.
Yeah, extreme cops and robbers. There you go. So, put up the video anyway just now. So, through this, APB Retribution is now a top-down view of the APB world. You will be classed as an enforcer, it seems like, or a joker, whatever you feel like. And it's all about gaining into a story-based sort of style of gameplay within APB, because APB it's basically an MMORPG sort of idea within using guns rather than using swords and magical equipment like you do in World of Warcraft. So with this, the top-down view, will be an interesting look and art style to provide a story within the APB world that I think could enhance the APB world into a new game, if you get me.
Yeah.
It's just it's not being pushed enough, and especially the fact that it's restricted to iPad and iPhone at the moment.
Yeah.
The iOS I find it horrible. I'm just going to put it out there. It should come to Android very soon. I have been told that it will come to Android. Just bear with us, or bear with Gamers First and Blazing Griffin Studios. So it'll be £1.49 for the actual application itself.
Well worth it, man.
It is well worth it for £1.50.
How can you complain?
You can't complain at £1.50.
You can't.
It is literally like buying a bag of penny sweets. Like, you go to the ice cream van and say, "Look, I want £1 worth of penny sweets, please, mate, and a can of Coke." That is at
£1
least
worth of penny sweets, and you get a bag of 5 sweets. Yeah.
No.
Just like
Well,
now.
these days, penny sweets are about 20p each.
Yeah.
But it was at least that sort of 2 or 3 hours worth of enjoyment. You can get that for that on the iPad or iOS. You'll be able to get it. So check that out. The link will be in the description below. You've just watched the teaser trailer just now, but you really should check it out, because it's something that will progressively show within Scotland's gaming industry, that we have like a stand within. I mean, it was made in Edinburgh. We have a stand on good art style, good gameplay, and good mechanics. So go and check that out for us. So we're going to move on to most anticipated then. And who wants to go first? I'm going to let you have a decision this time.
I might as well just get it out of the way. Yeah.
Okay.
Being a retro gamer and being a Nintendo fanboy growing up, I'm quite looking forward to shop. I'm quite looking forward to.
Quite looking forward to.
I'm quite looking forward to. Well, before I even talk about the game that I'm talking about, it might be the only game that could hopefully save Nintendo, because they're bleeding money right now. What? What?
No chance.
I will. Everybody knows the situation Nintendo are in just now, and even though I'm not as much of a fanboy as I used to be, obviously I still have a soft spot for them. But the next Super Smash Bros. Brawl is going to have Mega Man in it.
Dun dun
Oh
dun.
my God!
And that's coming from experience with me and John as well, with Capcom. That it's quite weird that for some reason, I don't know, there must have been some sort of management change recently in Capcom, because they're not being as much arseholes as they have been recently, with their licenses and stuff, and so yeah, they've allowed Mega Man to be in a game that isn't being made by Capcom.
Well, keep in mind that Mega Man's going to has made an appearance in Dead Rising 3 as well.
Yeah,
that's
made by
year.
Capcom. But
That is made by Capcom, but what I'm saying is they're trying to push something.
Yeah,
I think.
Keeping on the topic as well of Nintendo leaking money, I noticed in McDonald's yesterday that the toys that are coming soon to the Happy Meal are Mario World, Super Mario toys. I can't remember the last time there was anything Nintendo related elsewhere than.
Fucking the next thing McDonald's will be doing is Flappy Bird toys.
Aye.
Oh God. Oh.
Flappy Bird.
Oh.
Played it once, I was like,
I'm not touching it. It just why would you rip the art style of Mario? I do not know. For a start, yeah, that's another conversation.
Cool. Apart from that, there's nothing particular that I'm looking forward to. Obviously, like the kind of recent games that are getting announced for the new consoles and stuff. I quite like to get a hold of an Xbox One or a PS4 or whatever.
Yeah.
But if I can afford it, I'd like to pick up a Wii U, because I do want to play the new Marios and the new Zeldas and that are coming out. And I'm hoping to God for a new F-Zero game, but I know it's not going to happen.
Have you heard they're going to do a sort of Gundam style of Zelda?
No.
They're going to do Zelda Warrior instead of Gundam
Warrior.
Warrior.
Yeah. I seen that. Yeah, that
nice.
looks really good.
So it's the world of Hyrule. You're going to be playing as Link, and yet you've got Gundam Warrior sort of style of destroying everything.
Hack and slash, basically.
Aye, hack and slash.
Something that there's plenty of reasons they want a Wii U, but obviously they're just not marketing it well enough just now, and they're resting on the laurels too much from the Wii before.
I need to correct myself there. Actually, it's Dynasty Warrior,
Warrior, yeah.
There was a Gundam Warrior sort of style that came out of that from Gundam Wings, and then
Dynasty Warriors Gundam, yeah.
So that's pretty much what I'm looking forward to, apart from just looking forward to going to NERG again.
Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ.
That's a while away yet, but...
That is a while away. Hopefully I'll be able to follow you guys up there as well. Well, down
there.
Down, in, slightly sideways, depending on where you
are.
On
the coast. Well, with that, actually, we'll do a wee section on NERG after this conversation, then, 'cause that'll be actually quite good for the whole thing of Phil Murphy, who is the guy who's trying to promote everything completely by himself. He's an absolute legend. So, Harrison, what is your most anticipated for this year, really?
I've got two most anticipated things.
Yep.
One's a game and one's a concept at the moment in time. The first game I'm most anticipating is the new Thief game.
Ooh.
Cannot wait.
Good
It
show.
is going to be good. The only problem is that my computer won't be able to run it. I've already pre-ordered it. I'm just like, no!
So you have pre-ordered it, you just can't... I don't think you will be able to play it.
I have been watching all of the trailers. I think it's about 4 now that are out. 4 individual ones that I've seen. There has been a couple of wee gameplay leaks and whatever. Some of them hoaxes, some of them not. And to be completely fair, I am looking forward to getting into a proper semi-open world stealth game that stealth mechanic works alongside the parkour free running style.
Yeah.
I mean, I really did enjoy Mirror's Edge. It's a fantastic cult game. It was such a brilliant thing. I might do a bit of that maybe later on on the Twitch or the YouTube or whatever. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see how good I can get back again. Cool. And it takes in the elements of your Assassin's Creed style free running. Apparently, the parkour and free running in the game, they're trying not to make it as complicated.
Yeah.
As Mirror's Edge. They're trying to simplify it down a bit, but still trying to keep its diversity.
Because basically in Assassin's Creed...
the Mirror's Edge, basically.
Aye. Because Assassin's Creed, you hold down A, while in Mirror's Edge you need to literally press A for every action that you do.
Pretty much, yeah. You need to use all your different buttons for your different actions and things like that, and different combinations do different things, that actually logically work.
They're trying to make it free flowing as much as possible.
Yeah. The one thing that I'm interested to see how it works is in the trailers. We've been seeing this kind of magic-y, netherworldy thing going on.
Really?
Yeah. In the main trailer, actually, it talks about, without giving too much away, the best thing for you guys to do, go on, have a look at the main trailer. The easiest place that I know to find it is on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
Hop onto Steam. It's the first trailer there. Watch that, and that kind of brings in a kind of dark style necromancy sort of idea to it. I'm very interested to see how that'll work in the game, because I'm very much a purist with these kind of games.
They have to be kept to the original format.
Yeah, they have to be kept to the original format, where the Thief games were... they didn't have all this crazy magic-y thing going on. Yes, actions and all. But it should be really good just to see what they've done with it.
Yeah.
What they've done with the Thief franchise. Though I would not want to be those guys right now, because the amount of pressure that's on them from the Thief games itself and trying to reinvent it is going to be quite something.
Well, Thief has been on the backlog for such a long time. I mean, it came out that Thief 1, 2, that was absolutely fine. And then as soon as GOG came on the scene, they released Thief Gold Edition.
Yep.
Which brought that sort of nostalgic feel for people back into the Thief universe, but yet they said this should kind of come back, but if somebody actually decides to make this, it could go either incredibly good, incredibly bad, or could just not do well at all in sales and still be a good game. And I think that's what people were really worried about, because it is a cult following as well. So,
well, I have been talking to a couple of people, a few sources and things, and apparently the Steam pre-order sales of Thief are going very, very well indeed.
Yeah, no, they will be pre-ordered.
They're going extremely well.
They've probably picked a good time to come back just now, using the whole kind of cult following, but they can push it just now. They can market it properly, where other people are going, "Oh, it's got a cult following. It must be cool. I want to go and check that out." And I'm hoping people might say, "Oh, that's a bit dodgy. They're maybe not marketing it on its gaming ability alone." But I mean, that's the way AAA games like Call of Duty and shit are getting marketed. So why the hell should a game that deserves the speculation use it as well?
Yeah.
Aye.
So, anyway, just to say, the Thief game should be released on February 28th, day after my birthday. So that should be really good to see if it actually runs on my PC. Could be something. Otherwise, I might need to be taking a couple of trips over to my brother's to play on his. My temporary blue screening will probably turn into a permanent blue screen at that point. Everything will just melt itself into this great big solenoid mess. And all you can hear from the old the old BIOS speakers is na 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 na. So the other thing I want to speak out about as well, actually really quickly before I do, Mirror's Edge 2. Since I brought it up, I cannot wait. Oh my god, I can't believe I actually forgot about it. What they're doing with Mirror's Edge, I mean, the possibility of the open world, whatever, they've kind of gone a little bit quiet on it. I'm on the mailing list stuff for it now, actually, and
just can't help yourself, can you?
I can't help myself. And I suppose that I think they're going to have to be even more careful with Mirror's Edge if they're thinking about this open world idea. They're going to have to be even more careful than they have for Thief.
Yeah.
At least with Thief, they're not deviating too far from the game mechanic.
It's definitely a world that I want to see explode more.
Aye.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Being a fan of the first Mirror's Edge and the whole universe that they created in the story and the cutscenes, I want to see it expanded on. But I suppose at this point, no news is good news, because it means hopefully they've got their heads down.
Yeah, they're getting heads screwed on. Basically, that's what it's going to do.
Aye. No, that's one thing I'm really looking forward to. But my next idea, which I call a concept, is the Razer's idea for a subscription PC.
Ooh.
What do you guys think about that? It's been put down as Project Sylvia, I believe I called it. I believe they called it. 2 seconds while I bring it back up.
The way what I see of it is, yes, this sort of concept would be good for either people that just don't know how PCs work, but want something that's going to work far superior.
Sorry.
Than the
Project
console.
Christine. I don't know why I said Sylvia. Something else completely different. But yeah, Project Christine. Yeah.
So it's for people who are gamers who aren't into computers and want something that's really, really beautiful, high performance gaming PCs.
Like me.
That's brilliant. It's a brilliant concept. Also for people who play in tournaments, especially in proper esport tournaments, that would be brilliant to have a subscription PC. You could change from partnership to partnership, as it were, through sponsors. But for the everyday gamer, for the people who really do like their technology and like to know about their computers and like to build their computers, that's where the controversial part of it goes. It could be to a very specific market, or it could go completely mainstream. I think it may stay within the specific market. It'll be a treasured item, if you get me, to have a subscription based PC. It's not going to be like a mobile phone that everybody wants to get, the new mobile phone. A PC you can
be high priced, yeah,
you have the option to build a PC. That's the bit that's going to go down for it, in my eyes.
Well, the one thing that I've been looking at is I've been looking at the pictures that have been provided by Razer. Because the one problem I've been thinking is you've got to be careful that they don't lock you down into a certain provider, say Nvidia or ATI or AMD or Acer or whatever. They're gonna lock you down into what they're gonna provide. Now, looking at the pictures on the website and the pictures from their current couple of releases that they've done, say at E3 and things, other ideas like that, from what we can see so far, is they're be doing Nvidia. On the main website, the card which is apparently in the PC, which they're taking pictures of, is the Nvidia GTX 780 Ti.
Which is classed as one of the nicest and most powerful.
Probably, one of the most powerful cards out there.
Cards that's available, yeah.
They're going to have it water cooled.
Yep.
Exactly how that works is regards to keeping the reservoir, because you've got your interchangeable parts, whether or not the pieces when they come to you will be filled with fluid, or whether they'll be empty, in which case you will have to pump through and get rid of the bubbles and stuff like that, which is very difficult when everything comes in a modular kind of idea.
Yeah, it comes in a box with all this preset.
Exactly. Yeah, let's just plug it in and go, is what they're
looking for. They're not just going to be like a console, basically?
No.
A console?
No.
It's going to be in racks.
Yeah.
Right.
So each
you basically you have a tower, and then you have modules that simply just plug in.
It is basically like your hard drive will come in a big black case, your graphics card will come in a big long black case, and it's just that all you've got is a socket to put them in. A bit like putting in a hard drive to an Xbox. It's going to be like that. You've got the original base chassis. How's the motherboard going to work and all that though?
The motherboard will simply just be in a slot. Everything will run, as far as I'm aware, through SATA. Or there looks like some kind of Razer specific connections. Yeah. That they've got there. If anyone knows and wants to say anything, after you've watched the podcast, and to let us know actually what that is, if they go onto the Project Christine on the Razer website and let us know what it is, that'd be great. But yeah, that's kind of it's one of the things that I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with it.
Yeah.
A lot of people are a bit skeptical. And I'd certainly say rightly so.
Oh, they've got every right to be sceptical over it, because it is a brand new idea, and either people are going to arrive with their stuff being delivered and the water coolant's not going to work. You've got leakages, or maybe the components are bust, or because how are you meant to know that somebody else hasn't already had that specific component? They might have just reissued that as a used product and told you, look, you've got your subscription, this is how it is, this is what you get.
Yeah.
Somebody else could have used that before you, for all you know.
It'll be very interesting to see how it compares to...
Ow.
Oh, jeez.
Sorry.
It'd be very interesting to see how it compares to a normal PC system, using the same components. Like, for example, the Steam box. versus the a normal PC just running it. Because apparently the Steam Box themselves don't actually run as well as just a normal PC at the time. But as everybody knows, they're still in beta and they're still
they still have to be
a lot of
optimized.
problems on it.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah, definitely.
There's definitely a market for it. It's just personally, I'm kind of taking a back seat here because you two are more in depth with kind of that kind of thing than myself. But
technically minded.
Yeah, it's not something that tickles my fancy that much.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's something that I'm certainly keeping an eye on. Because it's something that I'd be really looking to get into. Because I've had a lot of problems with swapping out bits and pieces, and I'm not the most technically minded person, but I've got an idea about quite a few things, and a subscription idea like that would be fantastic for me.
Imagine that you could go on to the Razer website and it would say, "This is what you've got just now already on your components. Would you like to switch out your loadout?" And it would come out with something like that. That'd be a really interesting idea to say, look, right, okay, I want to take this out and put this in instead. Can you give me something that's more compatible or something that's more powerful? You'll have that sort of range and you'll be able to see the performance of your PC as a whole.
Stability as well, yeah.
You will have stability, but not to begin with, I think.
Aye.
It will still be optimised, even when it gets to a retail stage. If it gets to a retail stage, there'll still be massive optimization problems, because you think consoles come out these days and they've always got a problem with them. This is going to be the same as well within these sort of builds, these subscription builds for PCs. Same with the Steam Box. The Steam Box is going to have exactly the same problems as well. They're going to realise they've put it out to thousands of people and about 15% of them aren't going to be working.
Yeah.
So. Well, in regards to the Steam Box is kind of an opposite idea to this Project Christine, in that the Steam Box, Steam basically just said to the different developers of PCs and PC parts, make us Steam Boxes and we'll stick the software on. Whereas this is the opposite.
This is you put whatever software you want on, but
where Razer's like, we're providing a system.
Yeah.
And you can stick whatever you want in it, that kind of idea. But the main thing that I'm wondering about with Razer is, I've tried their software before.
Mm-hmm.
I've used Razer Chat. I have one of their Razer keyboards.
Yep.
With the wee screen and everything, with the Switchblade UI in it, and I'm trying to have a look into that as far as how easy it is to write apps for it, and apparently it's really freaking difficult. Well, for me anyway. And a project like this would take Razer up to a new level, because a lot of the stuff they have is still in
very
beta,
specific and
bugs,
very expensive.
and there's God knows what problems with it. Like with the Razer Chat that they had. That's still in beta. It's been in beta for a very, very, very long time. But as regards to getting the infrastructure to get this Project Christine working, it's a massive gamble.
Yeah, definitely.
Massive, massive gamble.
Well, through Steambox and with Razer's subscription builds, I'm sure that'll produce competition within each of the franchises, and we'll get it'll be healthy competition. We'll get a result easily by the end of this year. What's going to happen with all that? So that'd be incredible.
Yeah. So stay tuned for that.
Definitely. So I have been anticipating Sonic Boom. Just got released 2 days ago. The news of it. I really like the art style that they're going for. I really don't know what they're doing with Knuckles. They're trying to make him a sort of tank sort of character.
Why is Knuckles fat?
It's not that he's fat. He's just big boned, though, right?
Built like a brick shithouse.
Exactly. I don't think they're going to be able to make him glide, but the gameplay that they've shown, or at least released with the reveal trailer, they are trying to make him like a tank. He'll be able to just clobber the big guys. But I really do like the art style that they're going with for Sonic. Plus, apparently a new 3D rendered cartoon will come out of this. I'm intrigued in that.
I'm very intrigued with that one.
Most people didn't like Sonic X. I actually loved Sonic X.
Sonic X is amazing.
It wasn't really the world of it. It was just the storyline of it.
Yeah.
It was quite intriguing. Sonic falls out and lands in a swimming pool. He can't swim, so the young boy comes out and helps him. These things happen. So I think Sega, this has come from Sega America, it's not come from Europe or Japan. This is purely Sega America that's pushing all this. So Sega America
develop Sonic game.
Aye. It looks like it'll be a well-developed Sonic game. Amy's in there as well, but she might. I think they're trying to sway away from her being really annoying and being the girlfriend of Sonic. They're trying to make her an actual worthwhile character.
I do finally think, just on your point of Sonic games as well, they've recently been getting in the right direction since Sonic Generations.
They've been really itchy about what they're trying to do with Sonic recently. I feel like Sega America are working with the arcades really well at the moment.
Yeah.
And if they could push Sonic into the arcade devices, as well as, I know they've got the partnership with Nintendo now, and that kind of, I push that decision off to the side, because back in the 70s and 80s, when these sort of companies were established, or at least were trying to get their foot in within the games market, before they were even called Nintendo or Sega, they were in competition with each other, and then they sort of realised that Nintendo was going to take over. Sega brought themselves to the board and says, look, we're going to be taking a breather, I would like to join your team after the whole disaster of the Dreamcast.
Boo.
I know. That should have went...
Most of the Sega Saturn, but I'm not getting into that. I'll do that on my own channel.
The Dreamcast, I still think the Dreamcast was the problem. So yeah, I think Sega America are doing right with this decision, with the new art style, and especially with the fact that they're going to try and make a sort of commercial franchise again. The only problem is being American. I don't want to sound sort of racial towards Americans here, but the whole commercial part of America is completely different to the rest of the world. They view things on a sales level that is far bigger than any other part of the world, especially within Europe and Japan. It could go the opposite direction very easily, but we'll stay tuned. It's hopefully meant to come out for the Wii U, I believe, and the 3DS. They're meant to do Sonic Boom, so I'll check out and see what it's like as more gameplay footage come out and the decisions they're actually doing, and whether I'll still support Sonic from that level. But as for the animation series, I'm looking forward to that massively.
Sometime keep my eye on as well, man.
Definitely.
Same.
So, have you enjoyed this podcast? I think we've been recording for about 40 hours, it feels like.
Yeah, I know. We're finally getting to that time of the hour, are we?
Aye. We need to get our ass moving. It's a Sunday afternoon. We want to be doing all the things.
Yep.
So, just quickly, for 2 seconds, NERG, that's the North East Retro Gaming Convention, which is happening down in Newcastle, Gateshead, later on this year. James and myself, we actually went to the first ever NERG. That took place on, I've got the information here, June 29th and the 30th of last year. We actually went for the 2 days, but we were absolutely knackered. But it was
one of the best weekends of my life.
One of the best weekends of our lives, definitely. Basically what they've got over 100 arcade cabinets. They are going for over 100 consoles, I believe, and that's even from like back in the day consoles. We've seen some crazy stuff, didn't we, James? Down there.
Stuff that I didn't even know existed.
No, you wouldn't know that it existed at all. They also had the sort of emulator cards for the Sega Mega Drives and all that. I really wanted one of them. Pinball machines. I could not stay off the pinball machines. It's so worth it. And all the stalls, the stands, it was enough to get the atmosphere of, like, we want to bring back a sort of retro community back to the UK alone, never mind the world. But the Phil Murphy, he knows exactly what he's doing. He is the head coordinator. He's the guy that runs NERG, and we got to meet him, and he's a fantastic guy, and he does it for the benefit of the people, not for himself. And he's
if you would like
so
to see an exclusive interview with Philip, I was the only person that actually asked to interview him when we were down there last year, so check out my channel.
Yep. We'll put the video in the description, and we'll do a sort of annotation. I don't know, we might do it there, either side. There we go. We might do it one way.
Or here. Your exits are here and here,
here
and here.
Here and fucking here. The dog's getting excited now because I've done that. So yeah, that's NERG. We're going down there later on this year. Hopefully you can join us, Harrison.
Yeah.
We will do more discussion on that as new cabinets and all sorts will come out, and as we're doing the build up towards summer, because it's going to be absolutely fantastic.
There's already a few things that they've announced that I'm quite excited about, but we'll get on to that another day.
There's a lot of things, so we'll deal with that. This has been the game station. The game station? Holy shit! I should not be saying that.
Oh god.
Total Biscuit, you're a bad influence. This has been the Gamers of Scotland. I know it sounds like the GS, but yeah, this has been the Gamers of Scotland. Go and check out James's channel, which is youtube.com/Benoit.
Also check in on Facebook and Twitter.
Facebook and Twitter. Everything will be down below. Do not worry about that at all.
Big long list of stuff.
Yep. And Harrison, you need to get stuff sorted, but as soon as you've got a channel sorted, a very specific channel, we'll advertise your Twitch down below as well. Just so that people can get familiar. Have you got a Twitter account at all as well?
I don't actually have a Twitter account. No. I am not connected
Socially
as much.
awkward.
I know, I need to get my butt in gear here.
Still left year.
Once all this information comes up, we'll put it in the description. You'll probably see it by the next podcast. We can hopefully get something sorted that we've got a collaboration. But there's also it's actually facebook.com/Gamers of Scotland for the Facebook page of the Gamers of Scotland. There's also the Twitter, which is GoSCO. That's Go Scotland. So hashtag that, and you'll be able to get everything that we will be tweeting up about this podcast and news. So this is actually the official first ever video and the official launch of the Gamers of Scotland. We're going to be doing
party poppers.
we didn't have much of a preparation on a party.
Just
did
do
we?
hand waving.
Yep, just do that.
Another celebrity here for the opening.
Oh my god, Hulk Hogan has launched the Gamers of Scotland. So we'll be doing this, once every month we're going to try and do, if anything?
Yeah. Hopefully we're just trying to get across the unique perspective of being gamers from Scotland and how we game.
We represent the Gamers of Scotland. If you disagree, put a comment down below and we'll kick your ass.
Oh, now, there's an invitation.
That is an invitation, so yeah. We are the Gamers of Scotland. We want to represent the Gamers of Scotland, and we'll do that through collaborated content. And by doing this podcast, you'll get more of a feel of the gaming style that we do, and basically our relationship with each other. So, Harrison, we've just recently got to know you, but it feels like we've known each other for years. And James and myself, James has just got that whole retro feel, which is fantastic. He deals with the retro side of games.
The granddaddy of the group.
You're the oldest after all.
Although they do say with age comes wisdom, but that's clearly not the case with myself.
No, definitely. So yeah, everything will be down below, and check back later on in the month. We're going to try and do this other podcast anyway. So that's us for now, guys. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you very much for watching. Take care.
Bye.
Fucking hell, I hate exits. We can unclench our arseholes. We can fart. We can go to the toilet. We can do whatever we want.